Hi, I'm Madison Yingling, and my book was Another Jar of Tiny Stars by Colnan and Wooten. Young students chose their favorite works by 15 poets who received the Award for Poetry for Children given by the National Council of Teachers of English. This compilation is filled with poems that use natural rhythmic language and rhyming patterns to tell stories to which children can relate. Readers will find that the poems range in content from silly stories to ones of historical significance, and the poems will cause them to crack a smile or cause them to sit in deep thought. The types of poetry included in this anthology are lyrical, haiku, and free verse. This book is culturally specific, meaning that there are many different perspectives included within the poems. In fact, there's a poem entitled Our Family Comes From Round the World by Mary Ann Haberman that discusses the different origins of different families. In addition, there are poems in this book such as Black is Brown as Tan by Arnold Adolph on page 59, Arthur Thinks on Kennedy, page 31, and Martin Luther King on page 33 by Myra Cohen Livingston, and Martin Luther King Day on page 87 by X.J. Kennedy. All of them discuss and celebrate racial diversity. Another perspective, one of the traditional family dynamic, can be seen in The Happy Family by John Ciardi on page 10. The genres included in this compilation are historical fiction, an example would be Martin Luther King, contemporary realistic fiction, an example would be Hubert and the Glue, and modern fantasy, an example would be I Left My Head. The topics included in this compilation are the National Council of Teachers of English award-winning authors, children, reaching for the stars, school, animals, seasons, families, history, fun, diversity, and personification. An explicit theme is a quote directly from one of the poets in the book. If there is a recipe for a poem, these would be the ingredients: words, sounds, rhythm, description, feeling, memory, rhyme, and imagination. They can be put together 1,000 different ways, and 1,000 more. Carla Kuskin. An implicit theme we gathered from the compilation is, when a poet writes, they make music with rhythm that is to be cherished and expressed in a way which can make a memorable impact on what is being shared or taught. My favorite poem from Another Jar of Tiny Stars was Pencils by Barbara Juster Esebensen. While I read the poem, you will get to see my illustration up on the screen. The rooms in a pencil are narrow, but elephants, castles, and watermelons fit in. In a pencil, noisy words yell for attention, and quiet words wait their turn. How did they slip into such a tight place? Who gives them their lunch? From a broken pencil, an unbroken poem will come. There is a long story living in the shortest pencil. Every word in your pencil is fearless, ready to walk the blue tightrope lines, ready to teeter and smile down, ready to come right out and show you thinking. After reading this poem, I felt inspired. The words were so powerful and made me feel that with just my thoughts, I can accomplish anything. I felt empowered and enthusiastic about writing. And the poem just reminded me of how much I really love to write. I would much rather write an essay than take a test. I love telling people my thoughts and opinions, but I do best by writing them down. This poem put into words my exact feeling of how powerful words really are. The poem didn't really have any elements of rhyme, but it was full of imagery. The rooms in a pencil are narrow, but elephants, castles, and watermelons fit in. The images in my head were hilarious. I can only imagine the look on an elephant's face being squeezed into a tiny, tiny space the size of a pencil. This poem also had metaphors dispersed throughout it. The inside of a pencil was compared to a room. Words were compared to tightrope walkers. This poem was chock full of personification. Noisy words yell for attention, and quiet words wait their turn. This made me think of my preschoolers and how some of them are always yelling, while other ones just sit quietly and wait in the background until their friends are done. And every word in your pencil is fearless, ready to walk the blue tightrope lines, ready to teeter and smile down, and show you thinking. This was my favorite line in the entire poem. It shows that you need to be fearless about what you're writing. Though there will be those who love it, but there will also be those who hate it. As long as you are proud of it and it speaks the truth, don't worry about what the haters say. It also shows that words are powerful. I just really loved this poem. All the elements fit nicely together and make for a very enthralling read. I wish the poem had been longer because I just wanted to continue reading more about the power of a pencil.